Today we're going to be talking about adverbs. This is going to be one of the easiest lessons you've had so far because you've been using adverbs both in English and in Latin for a long time already, and the best thing about them is that they are indeclinable. All right, let's do an adjective review because adjectives and adverbs are related, so we need to remember about adjectives first. We know that adjectives modify a noun and they answer the questions which one, what kind, how many. On the other hand, adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. And adverbs answer the question how, when, where. And many adverbs in English end in ly, but not all of them. So what I want to go through is there's a paragraph right here. We're going to find all of the adverbs. Okay? So once upon a time. Guess what? Once is an adverb. Okay? Once upon a time, it answers the question, when? When did it happen? Once. Once upon a time. There was a boy named Marcus. Marcus lived happily with his mother, father, and sister. Happily is an adjective, and because happily modifies how he lived. So it answers the question, how. With his mother, father, and sister, and an unusually large house. All right, so here we have another ly, unusually. And unusually here modifies large. It modifies another adjective. It says how large? Unusually large house on a very short street in Rome. So same thing here. Very is also an adverb and it modifies the adjective short and answers the question, how short? Marcus and his family always like to eat dinner together. So always is the adverb and always modifies the verb liked, right? How did they like it? Or when did they like it? When? Always. They always like to eat dinner together. Together is another adverb and it modifies how, when, where, when. How did they eat together? Yes. How did they eat? Together. But sometimes they were not able to. All right. So not is probably a really familiar adjective to you. We use known. Remember known all the time? So not, how were they not able? Not able. So not comes like in English and in Latin, known or not comes right before the verb. Because Marcus's father often worked very late in his shop. So here we have often, and it modifies worked. When did he work? Often. And he worked late. How late did he work? Very late. So very modifies the modifies late right there. Fortunately, Marcus's mother did not. Oh, here we have a not again. What did she not? Modifies what? Work. Outside the home. So this one's a very interesting one. This one is actually an adverbial phrase. The whole thing is called an adverbial phrase because outside the home modifies work. And that answers the question, where? Where did she work? Outside the home. Actually, she did not work, but that's what that phrase modifies. Did not work. That verb. And she was usually able to eat with Marcus and his sister. So here we can have another ly one. They're easy to recognize. Usually, what was she? Usually, she was usually able, okay, to eat with Marcus and his sister. These three sadly wished. So here's another ly. Sadly modifies wished. How did they wish? Sadly. That their father could be there. Here is our when adverb. Where? Be. But they always gratefully thank the God for their goods and their family. They always gratefully. So how did they thank? Gratefully. How did they do? When were they grateful? Always. When did they do this gratefully? Always. Thank the gods for their foods and their families and ate heartily. So how did they eat? They ate heartily while kindly saving. So how did they save? They saved kindly some food for the father of the family. All right, that's just some practice in English. Just like many adverbs in English and in LY, most but not all, or many but not all adverbs in Latin end in E or TER, but not always. Okay? And remember, the good thing about adverbs are they're indeclinable. So here's some Latin adverbs you might already be familiar with. Non, it's not. Semper, always. Saipe, often. Ibi, there. See, they don't always end in, these saipe ends in E, but not all of, but none of the rest of them do. Ubi means where. Statim means immediately. Subito means suddenly. And tandem means finally. All right. So let's talk about formation of positive adverbs. In both English and Latin, adverbs are formed from their adjective counterparts. All right. You do this without ever thinking about it. So if I was to ask you to change these English adjectives to adverb, great, you would say greatly. Beautiful, beautifully. Humble, humbly. You seeing the pattern right here? They are pretty easy to do. As I said, you do it and you don't even know it. Honest becomes honestly. Ferocious becomes ferociously. And wise becomes wisely. So there you've converted an adjective to an adverb. Oops. Adverb in English. Okay, so starting gender, you need to keep this in mind, starting gender of the adjective doesn't matter as adverbs are genderless. The only thing that matters, I'll tell you in a second, is where you find the stem. So how to form first and second declension adjectives, how to convert those into adverbs. I'm going to give you the pattern here and see if you can pause for a minute and see the third one, and then I'll tell you the rule. So magna becomes magne, pulchrum becomes pulchre, and modestus, can you see what it becomes? Modeste. So you see the pattern? It's formed from the adjective stem. So again, we always go to the feminine form to find the stem. So go to the feminine form, basically, and remove the A, and now you get the stem. First and second declension. And then you add, it's the stem plus E. So if we have stultus, stulta, stultum, you see here's the stem, stult, and all you do is add the E. So stulte. So stupid becomes stupidly. Very easy. Very easy. Don't make it harder than it is. It's not. All right. Third declension, adjectives converted to adverbs. They are also formed from the adjective stem. And you remember how to find the adjective stem? The adjective stem is you go to the genitive singular and remove the IS for third declension adjectives. All right? And then you take the stem and you add iter to it. If there's a stem that ends in NT, then you add the stem and ER. So let's take a look at this. Ferox, ferocis, so we take the stem, remove the IS, so it's just feroc, plus iter, ferociter, means fiercely. Sapiens, sapientis, here this one ends in NT, so we're going to look at it a little differently. The stem, instead of adding iter, we just add an ER, so it's sapient. Take off the IS in both cases and come up with sapienter, and that becomes wisely. Let's do another one. Felix, felicis, it's a totally normal one, doesn't end in NT. Felic, you get that from, remember, genitive, take off the IS. Iter becomes happily. Potens, potentis, here we have an NT. So you still remove the IS, but all you're going to add is an ER. So potenter becomes powerfully. Okay, pretty simple. There's more to adverbs in this, but we'll leave adverbs at this for now. You have this information in your chart book in the adverb section. But I want you to ignore everything for right now except the forming adverbs and the positive adverb section at the top of the page. And that will give you all the notes that we just talked about right now.